So there folks, welcome back to Lords of Football. Something a bit different going on with this episode, you may notice. Basically, I don't know if any of you have made videos for YouTube before, but there's a technique we use in the microphone where we set the gain on the microphone and then you adjust the gain in Audacity to get to a certain volume level that is then adjustable in post in Vegas, basically. So you can fine-tune it and make yourself slightly louder, slightly quieter, blah, blah, blah. Problem is, I recorded this episode of Lords of Football. You can see me here popping people into the gym for the stamina training like we promised in the previous episode. But then when I saved the game and finished up and came out to Audacity to save the project files, for some reason Audacity had reset the microphone gain to 100%. The problem with that is that even if I try and bring the volume back down manually, it's peaked. It's peaked. It's done this thing where it's distorted, basically, because it was too loud taking the volume in. So I had a couple of options of what I could do with this. One option was to look through the autosaves on Lords of Football to see if there was still one at the start of the day's training, which I don't think there was. I think the first autosave was at the start of the night phase, or at the start of the match, somewhere around there. And the other thing is, the match went reasonably well. We achieved what I wanted to achieve. And if you play a match again, it doesn't play out the same way. It uses a random seed, so there's no guarantee we would do as well as we had done. So yeah, I was sort of faced with the dilemma of how do I go about fixing this. So I've gone with the other option that was available to me, which was to render out the video, watch it back, re-record my commentary, and then render it all back out as an episode again, which is what I'm doing. So you can see here I'm checking out the challenges. We weren't close to the addiction challenge, unfortunately, so that's a problem. The reason was we needed 10, we've only got 8, and we popped Ulrich Bricks, who was addicted to stealing in the gambling training, so that's going to break us back down to 7. I'm sort of whizzing through the challenges here. You see that we need 2 more goals in official matches to upgrade the small pitch. We also need to keep a clean sheet in like a bunch of matches. We beat the Leeds Roses last episode 2-0. We're going to be playing against the Huddersfield Towers, and they're in 8th. And I took a moment to look at the points on the scoreboard to notice that we're only 3 points behind Watford, who are in the lead there. You can just see that. We're technically in joint 3rd with Wigan. So yeah, a win over Huddersfield Towers would be very beneficial to our league progress. So that's the situation we're in. We definitely want to beat Huddersfield Towers. I also took a moment to have a quick look at the statistics. We after the offer there was listed as the 7th highest goal scorer in the league, and I just had a zap through just to see where the other people were, how many goals people had got. Quite a few of our midfielders have got 1 or 2 goals each, which is quite cool. I think the vast majority of our midfielders have managed to score at least 1 goal. And on the assists, Forthwind and Hellevis, surprisingly, who presumably was taking some of the defensive kicks. And performance-wise, half of the offer, right down there. So yeah, I'm now having to watch this episode back and re-commentate over it, so it won't be the sort of standard train of thought of what I was doing at the time, because who knows. At this point, Forthwind down there has come stumbling out of the gymnasium with a injury. It's a medium level injury, you can see there, because it's an orange cross above his head. It's yellow for if it's a minor injury and red if it's serious. Rose Ristow has maxed out at stamina. Now, we were getting everyone's stamina training, but also natural fitness is something we wanted to work on. So at this point, I make some adjustments in the gymnasium so that we can set the window slot up to natural fitness, just so that anybody who maxes out their stamina has still got a useful exercise to go with. So there I go, setting that up and dropping Rose over and just shuffling everyone around. So that they're all working on an exercise that's useful to them. As you can see here, I'm just having a quick look at Rose Ristow's stats to see she's maxed out a couple of skills. I was considering whether or not we could put her in the locker room for positioning training, but we can't, because as you can see, it's still locked in there. We haven't quite unlocked that one yet. Forthwind's injury needs dealing with, so obviously we're going to put him in the physio. And you can see here, I was explaining that he's got 2 days in physio, or 3 days without. But also, we can see exactly what injury he's got. There we see he's got groin strain, which is something I only found out recently. You can actually click on the injury list, and it takes you through to that screen, which is quite cool. I never noticed that. I've played this game for like 70 hours before I even realised you could click on the injuries. So whilst the people are training, I'm doing my best to sort of keep an eye on them. There's a guy just come wandering back to the pitch there, so I'm shuffling someone around. I picked somebody with the highest stamina, so that I could take their slot to put Aaron Watson on, because Aaron Watson, as we know, has issues with stamina. So I definitely wanted him on the stamina training. So yeah, and then I check people's energy levels, of course, because last time we didn't, and it proved to be a bit of a problem. So started shuffling everybody into the physio, and that's something I wanted to keep an eye on throughout this thing. We've got another guy over there, Simon Lepoitvan, who's maxed out his stamina, so I just shuffled him over into the natural fitness. Also noticed that one of the people over there on natural fitness is at 97, so he's close to maxing that out. And from this point, it was just a matter of keeping an eye on people. Ulrich Brix has finished his punishment, so again, moving him in. There's a spare slot on the stamina bench over there where we've taken people away. So dropping him in. What was that coming out? Liam Adamino, who definitely, again, wants to be on the stamina training. No two ways about it. Stamina and natural fitness, both very important skills, because it affects the battery levels, how quickly they deplete and how quickly they recharge. As people start to max out their stamina and natural fitness, on rainy days we'll then have them training in the locker room instead. So hopefully we can get positioning unlocked, because that's a really good locker room training to get them working on. The battery levels on people are starting to run out, you can see that, so I'm sort of shuffling them round. People who are in the physio back up to green, I'm trying to pull them straight out, get them back on the training. So yeah, there they go, back into the training. There's gaining quite a lot of points in there actually, because it's level 3 training, so it's highly beneficial to our squad. Roger Bootsy was just checking his energy levels there to make sure he's fine to come back out, which he was. We want to keep people fairly high, and also the match against Huddersfield that's coming up, we're going to be without fourth wind. So our substitute left midfielder is going to have to play left wing for us, which is not ideal. Roman Dislinge there, I'm just pointing out, his natural fitness is up to 97, so, and that's about to ding over to 98 as well, so he's pretty close to maxing that out. At which point I guess we'll put him back on stamina, but he's probably not too far from maxing that as well. So he's one of the ones who's going to end up in the locker room with Rose on rainy days. But the rainy days are going to be getting fewer now. We're into May 2014, as you can see on the calendar in the bottom corner. So it's going to be fewer and fewer rainy days until we start getting towards the winter period again. That's it, the whistle has gone there. I should adjust my volume actually so I can hear it a bit more. So the whistle went. I tried to get the whistle blown nice and quickly, because leaving them on the level 3 training for too long really does upset them, especially if he overruns. And we want them sort of at their best for this match, because this match against Huddersfield, sort of, it might not seem very important, but it is. It is important. We are doing well in the league, but I think we still have the potential to win the league. There might be enough points left in it for us as long as we win all our matches, and Watford and the other guys ahead of us, London Queens, I think, and Wigan. So basically, if they lose 1 or 2 matches and we win all ours, we might still have a shot at winning the league, which would be quite incredible to sort of, steal. What's the phrase I'm looking for? To snatch victory from the jaws of defeat. That's what I was trying to go with there. So on to the nighttime phase, and as usual, fourth wind, concentrated on him straight away, moved him over to the casino, and then just quick look through the first 11, move them where they go, straight onto the subs. The subs, who did we move there? The subs are seeming to take a lot of shuffling about at the moment. I think it's mainly because the addictions are starting to build up, as you can see. There's quite a few people building up those yellow bars, and we want that because we want to get to 10 addictions to get the next unlock. because the addiction unlocks are some of the hardest ones to get. They really are. I've got another save where I'm like 4 seasons in, and I haven't got the final unlock for the addictions, which is 25 addictions. I don't even have 25 players. Trying to get 25 players is a nightmare. I think the last 2 transfer windows on that save, I've not even gained a new player, just because the players I'm asking for haven't been available. I'm looking for right wingers to sort of flesh out my squad, and there's just been no right wingers for sale. And the other problem with the transfer market is we don't really understand the mechanics. It's not something the devs have gone into in great detail, so we don't know exactly if there's ways to manipulate who is and isn't available to buy. We're back to Fourth Wind again, trying to shuffle him around a few different activities. At the moment what we're doing is I'm waiting for the party bar to drop by 1 more so I can move him over to the alcohol. Just to try and stop his needs building up too much. I mean, food luckily is in the yellow for him now, which is fantastic, and it gives us a bit of respite to try and get some of his other needs under control, because we're only trying to balance 5 of them rather than 6. And as you know from the previous episodes, it's been tricky as hell trying to keep Fourth Wind occupied. He's such a miserable git, and his needs seem to fall so rapidly compared to the other players. Gandalf is another one that's becoming troublesome for us. He's been very difficult. Who's the other one? Simon Le Poitevin, I think, has been very tricky as well, but he is a reserve player. Reserve goalkeepers usually end up with the worst needs set because you never play them. Players' moods are affected by how often they're picked for the first 11 relative to their skill. So, a highly skilled player will be more pissed off if he's not picked for the first 11. So if we put Liam on the bench all the time, he would get more pissed off than Rose would. So we've got to try and keep the people on the first 11, they've got to keep playing, and people who are on the subs bench, when they get to play a match, will affect their mood positively. If they spend all the time on the subs bench, it affects them negatively. And for the reserves, if they never get onto the subs bench or even get a match, they end up really pissed off. And obviously the goalkeeper, you never really sub him. So because Fourth Wind is out of action due to injury, I've had to make some adjustments here. We've got Jasmine Delrue, who's coming on as the starting 11 player, and Emmeline Vion, I believe, taking Jasmine's slot on the subs bench. So yeah, that's the way it is at the start of the match. The match starts a bit weird. There's this really sort of early push that happens. You can just sort of see Liam there, banging it up to Jasmine, who hoofs it over to Roger. Sort of really early opportunity for goal that doesn't get realised because the keeper gets to it. That was a bit disappointing, I'll be honest. I was quite excited at the time. I thought, oh my god, we're going to get a goal in the first few minutes. The energy bars, I just popped the energy bars out there for a moment, and when I do it again, you'll get to see, I think Arthur and Jasmine are the only ones that are problematic. But I decided that they would just about see it through the first half, so no subs for the first half, basically. I decided to push through, get to the second half, and then consider making substitutes. It's really weird commentating this way, because when I'm normally commentating this episode, I mean, you can probably tell already that it sounds different. Because when I'm commentating on the episode, I'm speaking my mind as the thoughts appear in my brain. So as I'm committing to actions and planning actions and doing stuff like that, I'm just voicing those things. Whereas now I'm watching it back and I'm trying to voice what has happened rather than what is happening. Do you know what I mean? That's the thing. There was the goal. That was the first goal. It was an absolute beauty. It was one of the main reasons I didn't want to replay this match. It was Liam who scored the goal. You can just see him up the front there. He almost made it into the box and then just took the shot right from the semicircle, which was a beautiful, powerful shot. Really slammed it past the keeper. I was really happy with that. So yeah, as I say, I'm commentating now on things just after they happen. I'm trying to pay attention to everything and trying to remember what happened as I was playing. And obviously I'm doing it in the past tense as well, which is even more strange. This isn't my usual style. It's probably why I'm a bit, I'm not used to commentating in this fashion, like after the fact. So I'm a bit lost for words here and there. Because this isn't what I've trained to do. I've spent like a year training myself to commentate on things as they happen in the present. And now I've got to do it the opposite way around, which is very strange. They tried to make a little push on us there, but Gandalf was totally all over that, which was fantastic. Some really good defensive play for our team. Ulrich Bricks is one to keep an eye on. He's the black central defender. I think Helevis is the other central defender. You can just see him off the far left of the screen there, marking that guy. Arthur, does he score off this? Yes, he does. Yes, he does. That was a brilliant goal. So already, first half, 2-0 up, which is enough for us to unlock the next challenge. Which is why, again, I didn't want to re-record this, because it could have so easily gone the other way. The random seeds, there's no way of knowing exactly how the match is going to play out. Gandalf there making a little foul, that's annoying. But yeah, anyway, Ulrich Bricks. If you keep an eye on Ulrich Bricks, particularly in the second half, he makes some really good defensive moves. That there was him there, heading the ball away from the goal. And throughout this match, he's making some very good defensive plays. That was another good moment there. You can just see my mouse flying over to it. Basically, the guy there took a shot and it was cheekily obstructed by one of our players. Roger feeding it up, but the goalie coming straight out for that. No messing. I was checking the energy levels because Arthur, as you could see, was dropping very low. But I decided there's only 3 minutes left till the end of the half, so just play on, basically. And worry about bringing fresh legs on the pitch after the second half. And the main reason for that is, I think I might have mentioned this before, but the energy boost that the players get in the second, between halves, also affects people on the bench. So we've got more chance of people coming out with high energy levels, because they've had a chance to rest as well. So here we go, checking the energy levels. I'm keeping an eye on Jasmine and Arthur at this point. I didn't want to bring them out just yet, so I was planning, and I was saying, right, we'll let a bit of time go through, maybe 55 minutes, and then think about bringing them on. Aaron Watson fouling, but luckily no card, so that was good. Our defensive wall there, it was straight over the defensive wall, but look at Ulrich, he passed it to the keeper, who made a stupid mistake by just giving it a little tap, rather than booting it across the pitch. But it could have been worse. Could have been a lot worse. That there, I think that ball bounced off Arthur's chest, which made it go out of play. And I decided that now the ball's going out of play, with 52 minutes in, I'm going to start making my subs. So the first one was Arthur coming off for Althalos, and Jasmine coming off for Emmeline Vion, who hasn't had a match for a long time, so that should help her mood get under control. It should be a nice confidence booster for her. Gandalf and Helevis there doing a bit of defensive work. And at this point I was saying basically we want to come out of this with a clean sheet. Ulrich there, some more good defensive work from Ulrich. But yeah, we want to come out of this with a clean sheet because we've been struggling to get clean sheets. We still need quite a lot of them before we unlock the next reward for doing them. And I think, if I remember rightly, the clean sheets might be what unlocks the full match training. And the full match training we will be able to put on our pitch at home. And it's 11v11 match, which we can do because we've got more than 22 players. And it increases all the skills simultaneously, which is like a huge boost to the training. Liam took a very crappy shot there, which the goalie sort of deflected. So here come our subs finally. Emmeline Vion coming on, Althalos de Blundell coming on, Jasmine and Arthur the Orphan coming off. They also made a subbed one of their central defenders for another central defender. The ball should be coming back into play in a moment. There we go. Yeah, this is weird. I must admit. If this ever happens again, which it won't do. The thing is, the problem is I didn't realise Audacity would ever reset the gain levels. I've never seen that happen before. I've been using Audacity for a couple of years, and that's never happened. And I can't get my head around it. It was fine yesterday. I recorded the Leeds Roses match yesterday, and it recorded that fine. So I don't know why it reset the gain to 100%. But obviously now that I'm aware that's a thing, I will be keeping an eye on it and making sure that it's at 0.3.5 where it should be between recordings. But if anything like this does happen again, if for any reason I have problems with the audio, I may just replay the match. I don't know. What's going on here? We've got subs coming off for the Huddersfield Towers. They're bringing off a defender to bring a striker on. Which is a weird move, but the computer seems to do that sometimes. I'm not sure why. Maybe it didn't have any other spare defenders. Or maybe they were thinking about changing formation. I don't know. Liam there, just blasting another one past the keeper. That was incredible. I'm not sure if I watch this one back. I don't think I do, no. But yeah, another really good shot from Liam. So we're 3-0 up. 3-0, and we've still got 13 minutes left to go, which is not a lot of time. The Preacher here trying to push past Helavis, take him down with a foul. Luckily, again, no cards. We haven't had any cards for a long time, which is good, obviously. I don't know who defended that. That might have been Ulrich again. He's been doing very good defensive work. The clock slowly ticking down. Not much time left to go. Gandalf, Demetrius, nice bit of space there for Roger. That was brilliant. He comes down, crosses it in. Boom! Liam, that massive header. That was incredible. I actually watched this back as well because at the time I wasn't... When he took the header I was like, oh, is that going in? Is it not going in? It was a bit difficult to tell. But as he boots it down, you can see on the slow motion replay, it does go in. It does go in. Which is fantastic. 4-0 at this point. Jubilation, you know. There's only 6 minutes left. There's no chance they're going to defeat us at this point. We've definitely guaranteed that we've got the unlock for getting 2 more goals, and it's looking like we're going to go home with a clean sheet, which is fantastic news. And obviously really beneficial to us league-wise coming out of this 4-0 victory. There's Aaron Watson. It's good for us in multiple reasons. One is because, as I said, we've got a good chance of winning the league if the other teams ahead of us lose some matches. But also, Huddersfield Towers are only a couple of places behind us, so it definitely pushes them back down the league as well, which, you know, secures our position even more. So, full time's up there, and we're into 3 minutes of injury time. And the injury time, you know... Sometimes it's a bit hit and miss. You can never really tell how much injury time there is because it sort of extends it when there's a play being made. And you can see here our team is making a play. A sort of shot on goal there that went nowhere near. But that extended the injury time a little bit without really being able to see it. So at this point I was like, oh my god, how long is injury time going to go on for? And then it just immediately stops. So Liam got his hat-trick. Arthur got a goal. Liam got man of the match. Performance-wise, as I said, Ulrich Bricks came out with an 8.5 rating, which was only just behind Liam, who scored 3 bloody goals. So that shows you just how sort of integral Ulrich was in that match. So yeah, the loading screen. Got to wait for this, unfortunately. But after this, we get the reward for getting 2 goals, which we got more than 2 goals. That was brilliant. And it was an unlock for the small pitch. Here we go. We're really performing well. Now that we're at 50 goals, raise some funds for the small pitch. Upgrade to level 3. We don't really use the small pitch for training. It's only really for punishment, so that's not going to affect us massively. But it's done. It's done. We've upgraded it. Next match is against the Nottingham Wolves. And that's it, folks. I'm going to pause, save, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.